Joining me now is leader writer at The Australian, Graham Lloyd. What about that, Graham Lloyd? Let's talk about Anthony Albanese's trip to the NATO Summit, though, and to see President Emmanuel Macron. How do you think it's gone, and what have we learnt most from it?
Well, I think it's fair to say it was a very successful trip by the Prime Minister and very significant. If you look at it against the background of sort of approaches to try and mend a few fences with Beijing in the first couple of weeks, what we saw in NATO is that Australia is all in on the NATO project. And the significance there is NATO is expanding its really sort of focus to our part of the world, extremely concerned about the new relationship with no limits that's been formed between Russia and China, and is going to apply itself to upholding the rules-based order. Australia is fully engaged. We recognise the problems that the war in Ukraine is causing in Europe and potentially in Africa, and we've agreed to do what we can to help supply agricultural products and energy into markets that desperately need it.
And it's been a difficult week for the US President Joe Biden and the US Supreme Court. The court's latest ruling appears to have scuppered the president's ambitions on climate change, hasn't it?
Well, this is the big US story on climate. Obama and then Biden had both talked a very big game on climate action, but neither had the support of Congress to actually get meaningful reforms through. In Biden's case, his financial package was blocked, and then this week the US Supreme Court has said that using the EPA to restrict emissions from the power sector is overstepping the authority. These sort of things with such sweeping impacts need to be decided by Congress, and Biden is just unable to deliver that. So in the bigger world of climate politics, really this is a history repeating itself, and Biden's agenda is pretty much a lame duck.
Well, back home, AEMO put out its plans for energy, heavily focused on renewables, and Chris Bowen is doubling down on pretty ambitious renewables targets. What's your view of this?
Well, that's right, Andrew. It's Australia is running full steam ahead to go down the renewables path, as other parts of the world are sort of starting to pull back a little bit. Australia really needs to fortify its energy sector, and this government has made it clear with AEMO that it's going to be renewables based. There's going to be billions and billions of dollars spent on transmission infrastructure and other things in the expectation that it's all going to work. How this is going to deliver the lower energy prices and electricity prices for households that have been promised, well, that remains to be seen.
Graham Lloyd, thanks very much.
Thanks, Andrew.